You know, Gary, all this green around here makes me think of Louisiana. And we finished up a picture down there years ago called The Undefeated. And, you know, I flew down there to New Orleans, and I rented a car to drive up to Baton Rouge, where we were working. I wanted to see the countryside. And it was a beautiful drive, you know, all that moss-covered oak trees and all that. And I pulled into the motel, and there was a couple of big guys standing there. And they walked over to the car, and they said, Mr. Collier, and I said, yeah. And they said, you going to drive this car while you're here on the show? And I said, well, I don't know. And they said, well, if you do, you're going to have to hire a Teamster to drive you. And I said, oh, well, I haven't made up my mind yet. I'll let you boys know a little later on. Well, I wasn't about to hire no Teamster or have the company hire one. I turned the car in. But John Wayne got on those Teamsters. You see, in those days, you'd go out of town on a job. Well, the Teamsters control all the drivers and all that. And you hire all the local people. Well, John Wayne figured, well, I'll get even with these guys somehow. So we were out there shooting. We did a lot of work, and it's always the Teamsters this and the Teamsters that. Well, they had this shot where about 60 of those Confederate guys were going to ride down this hill and shooting at us. We're behind these little wall here, and we're shooting at them. And we get a few of them, they come off the horses. And so John Wayne says, okay, I'll put my boys on. This Teamster guy says, no, you're not putting your boys on there. We're putting our out-of-work Teamsters horseback. They'll come down that hill. And the old Duke says, well, okay. He says, if you want to do it that way, we'll do it that way. So they mounted them up. All these Teamsters are on this hill, and they had a cannon on about every 10th guy. And he says, Duke says, Jerry, you ready? Jerry is the stunt gaffer. Jerry says, right, I'll go when the cannons fire. You got it. He's all right. He says, action. And the cannons fired, and boom. Those horses went every direction you can think of. I mean, bodies were flying off here and there, and we're back there trying to shoot at these guys, and we're laughing so hard we can't get any shots off of them. We were just dying. And, of course, we had to do it over again with the real riders, you know. It just didn't work that way. But that was a good show. And needless to say, Duke Wayne never went back to Louisiana. Never did. He says, I won't come back to this place.